How's it going, guys? So I just wanted to do a quick tutorial on how to change out your spark plugs and to also check the gap. If you guys don't know what that is, you will need a couple tools for this. You can purchase this gap tool right here, which they have a coin, they have a couple different versions of the tool, but this one happened to only cost me barely over $1, and that was at a local auto store, which came in a lot cheaper than I expected. And you guys will need a spark plug puller. That's the adapter with a little spring down in there that kind of latches on to this part of the spark plug, and it helps pull it out. And one other thing is, I like to use this is it's a PB penetrating fluid, and that's pretty much to break the corrosion or the rust or any kind of dirt that may kind of block the threads and keep the spark plug from coming out. So there's another tool that you need is probably, you could do this without this. I like to use a rubber mallet to actually, depending on your size of the gap, you want to look online or read your manual to find out exactly the spacing of that gap that you see right there. And I'll show you guys how big of a deal this is, because it could affect idle, it could affect pretty much everything, you know, fuel economy and so on. So you really want your gap to be right in the center. You don't want it too large, because then that's kind of harder on your ignition control module or a distributor, and it kind of wears, or even coil packs, it just wears them out quicker because it's a little bit more current that's being spread across, but it also weakens the pulse of it. So the closer it is, the more better it should be, and you just kind of want to be more in the middle of everything. Now people are doing 0.32 of an inch, because this is measured in inches, not millimeters. On the most Passats, they're 32. I checked the ones that came with my new spark plugs, and they were basically at 40, and that's definitely too large. That's a big enough difference. It's over probably like 15%, so it could really affect fuel economy. It could affect how the car idles, how it could start, and everything else like that. And I pulled out the new ones, and they were exactly the same thing, 40. And these are NGKs. They're pretty good. I don't know what type of element that they used, so I'm thinking that they'll probably last a little longer, but I just went with cheaper ones today. I got the copper ones because copper is always going to be the better conductor. And they were about $2 a piece, and for a V6 you got 6 of them, so I ran about 15 bucks. But if you can see this, I'm sure the camera's not going to really be able to pick it up that well. So this one is the one that I set and reduced to 0.32, and then this one is 40, and these are both brand new, as you can see, but the difference is so small that you could barely see it even through the camera or even through an eye. It's easier to kind of see it in person, but it's very, very touchy, and Volkswagens are kind of picky with the spark gap on how they run and how smooth they are. You can kind of throw off everything and wear down other electronic devices and components that you don't want happening down the road, because then that's more money. So you want to set it to the recommendation, pretty much. I know tuned cars that have higher boost levels or just running a little bit more gas, you can open the gap up more. I know on 1.8Ts, if you have higher boost levels, they actually recommend lowering and reducing the gap to 28, because you basically just need a higher pulse to pretty much ignite, and it just has better combustion. So definitely keep that in mind. And pretty much gonna go ahead and do these. This is a handy little tool that you could, on my V6 it was already stuck onto the plug, but it's a spark plug puller, so you don't have to, you know, use a flat head or use your fingers, because sometimes those get stuck. And another thing that you should definitely use if this is your first time is using the electronic grease to pretty much put on the end of this, so that when you put your spark plug wire up to it, it doesn't get corroded and stick later down the road, which can prevent pulling it off. So, yep, and that's pretty much all I have to share with you guys. But other than that, this is going to be a good little experiment with me. Like I said, I'm staying to the recommendation 32. I'm not going to go lower. I'm not going to do any more. So if you guys are pretty much wanting to pretty much open it up more, you use the center of this hole right there, and just kind of like a beer bottle or something, you just kind of wrap it around in there and then pull on it. And if you're wanting to reduce it, you can flip it upside down on a hard surface and then tap on this end just a little bit. It's very sensitive, so just a couple whacks could actually bring it down a couple numbers. And yeah, if you guys have questions or anything else that you would like to share, go ahead and comment and subscribe. Thank you.